Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Be Brave podcast. I'm your host, Grace. Today, I thought it would be good to have a chat and make a recording that you can come back to for when recovery is feeling extremely difficult, overwhelming, and you feel like giving up is the only option. Firstly, if you're feeling like you don't deserve to eat, you do, I promise. Anything that is living requires nutrients. If you had a baby or you were babysitting and the child simply slept and rolled on the floor the whole day, would you tell them they shouldn't need any food? If your friend told you that they thought they weighed too much, so they had no need to eat, would you agree? I don't think you would. I think in all of these cases, you would provide them with nourishment, as there is no need to starve a body for any reason. The only exception to that is gastroscopies and those sort of things, but that has to be prescribed by a doctor. Maybe right now you're feeling hungry, but you're thinking, no, it's not the right time, or, oh, I already ate too much today. But if that was true, your body wouldn't be sending you hunger signals. Your body isn't trying to harm you. All it does is fight for you to survive. Our job isn't to manipulate our body. Our job is to listen and respond to the vital information it passes on. I mean, in relation to the eating when you're hungry, I just got home from work. It's around 4:30. I'm going out for dinner later tonight around 7:30 or 8. At, I don't know, maybe 3:30, I had an afternoon snack. Before that, I had my breakfast, my morning snack, my lunch. So I'd had all of my meals and all of my snacks, but I got home and I was thinking, you know what? I'm actually pretty hungry. And instead of just waiting to dinner, I'm going to have a snack now. Because if I waited until dinner time, I would be hungry until then, I'd be thinking about food, I wouldn't be able to concentrate on what I was doing, and then it might make my stomach feel weird at dinner time. So I had a snack, even though it was a pretty random time, even though I'd already had all my meals and snacks that I had packed for myself that day, and I'm still okay. I'm probably more okay than I would have been if I didn't eat. But I'm just letting you know that to show you that it's quite normal. Lots of people they have a snack when they're hungry because they're listening to what their body is telling them. Maybe you're feeling really tired, but you feel like you need to exercise. Again, our bodies don't lie to us. If you're tired, your body needs rest. Resting isn't lazy and doesn't make you unworthy of eating. Resting is actually intelligent and respectful of your body that's working so hard to keep you alive and thriving. If you refuse to listen to what your body communicates, you'll never be able to find peace with food and your body. Maybe today is an especially bad body image day. You might feel uncomfortable and distressed by your appearance. Please remember that your body can't change much in just one day. Your head has the tendency to accentuate minor changes and fixate on things that you might deem as flaws, but other people probably don't even notice. I have a small exercise for you. Think of someone who has been incredibly helpful, or someone who has always been for you. The reason that person has come to mind isn't because of their size, is it? It's because of their personality and the way they care about you. Now I want you to imagine that that person was residing in a larger body. Would you suddenly not like them? Would you stop talking to them? I doubt it. Maybe today it just feels like everything is too much. Maybe you want to give up, stop trying to make it better, and just go back to the disorder. But as someone who has had that thought countless times, I can tell you the only way through is to tell your eating disorder to fuck off. If you engage, you will tell it it's welcome in your life, and it most certainly is not. It is so hard when we become overwhelmed by thoughts, emotions, and everyday tasks in life. The best way to deal with this, though, is to be kind with yourself. In recovery, emotions might feel like they're hitting you like a ton of bricks. And in a way, they are. Because before, you numbed out your feelings by not eating. But now, you're having to learn to sit with difficult emotions and wait for them to pass. I promise you, though, the hard feelings pass. It may take time, but they will pass eventually. So, for whatever reason you might be struggling at the moment, Here are some things I would suggest you could do. These are also relevant for when you need a distraction or just can't figure out what to do with yourself. You could watch a movie or a comfort show. I mean, personally, I love Friends. Also, Grey's Anatomy is pretty good. I just got into The Blacklist, which is surprisingly addictive. New Amsterdam is also so heartwarming. Let me know if you guys want some more TV and movie suggestions. I've got millions. I mean, also with that, you could read a book. Sometimes I feel like just watching a show though. You could also surround yourself with the people that care about you. You could play with a pet if you have one. You have to nourish your body. It's a non negotiable. Doesn't matter how you're feeling. I know it's going to be extremely difficult, but eating and fueling your body are non negotiable. I want you to be gentle with your body. Be kind, rest, don't force it to exercise, don't hurt it, just let it be. You could have a nice shower or bath. If you're feeling quite overwhelmed, you could try a cold shower or a cold bath just to just get your brain in another space. You could go outside for a little bit, get out into nature, be distracted. I used to like people watching, it was a good way to get out of my own head. Getting out of your head as well, you could try a mindfulness exercise so that you're really in touch with what's going on. For me, I love cleaning, so I like to tidy up my space, which helps declutter physically but also mentally. You could try some colouring in or paint by numbers, colour by numbers, something creative, something crafty. You could make a photo album, I don't know, have some fun with it. You could blast music. You could try out a meditation. You could try and do a new hairstyle. You could paint your finger or toenails. You could listen to a podcast, which, if you're listening to me talk right now, you're already doing. So great work. You could dance around. You could talk to your friends. You could talk to them about what's bothering you, or you could just have a chat to distract you. You could try some yoga or some stretching. There are some great YouTube follow alongs that you can try if you don't know what you're doing. That's always my go to. You could journal a little bit. Whilst it doesn't sound amazing, it can sometimes be good to just brain dump. If you're feeling physically uncomfortable, you could grab a hot water bottle or a heat pack. Even if you're not feeling physically uncomfortable, it can just be really soothing sometimes. You could write a bucket list of all the places you want to go or all the things you want to do. Anything really. You could write a list of movies you want to see, activities you want to try, foods you want to try, anything. You could write a poem or a song. Honestly, sometimes it's good to just cry it out for a little bit. Let yourself cry, let those feelings wash over you, and then move on. You could play an instrument if you have one. You could plan a holiday. You could make a PowerPoint about any topic of your choice. You could learn another language, try the Wikipedia game, do some crosswords, finish a puzzle, play some board or card games, make Spotify playlists. I love making playlists. I have like a million different playlists, and I just keep adding to them all the time. You could remind yourself of your reasons to recover. This is a really good one, and this is another reason why I think it's such a good idea to have a doc or a notes page or something along those lines that you can just refer back to. You can talk out loud to the thoughts in your head and just tell them to fuck off. Tell them, you are not welcome here. I'm not thinking that. You are not making me feel this way. This is not okay. It's also good to be honest with your family and your treatment team. Trying to put on a brave face or pretend that everything's okay when it's not is just going to make you more drained and make things harder, and people won't be able to help. And they want to. People want to help. So they need to know how you're feeling and what's going on. Try reminding yourself of everything your body does for you. Your body allows you to walk. It allows you to hug people. It allows you to give high fives. It allows you to play with pets. It allows you to pick up little kids and play with them. It allows you to ride a bike or go swimming or stretch or dance. It allows you to do so many things. You could make a placemat with inspiration and reminders for meal times. Then at a meal, you just put it where you're sitting, you put your plate on it, and you can just look at it as you're eating for those constant reminders. As a total distraction, you could watch some funny things on YouTube. Michael McIntyre is one of my personal favorites. I'll spell that just because it's a bit confusing. Michael for Michael, and then McIntyre is McIntyre. I'll write that in the show notes, so don't worry if you didn't get it. I also love Monty Python, which is a bit of an old one, but it's really good. You could also look at baby photos or younger photos of yourself and remember that you wouldn't treat that child version of yourself how your eating disorder is treating you. Another distraction is trying to remember or memorize the periodic table of elements. Sometimes when I was in a really distressed state, someone had me try to memorize the periodic table of elements, and this just completely took me out of my own head, got my brain to focus on something else, and I was able to get out of that distressed state. Another thing you can try is really getting in touch with how you're feeling. Try to label what you're feeling. Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling angry? Sometimes we just say, oh, I'm feeling fat. But that's not a feeling. Maybe you're feeling like your stomach is a bit tight. Maybe you're feeling like your clothes are a bit tight. Maybe you're feeling a bit tired and sluggish. So try and label the feeling. Next, try to notice if it's presenting itself physically. Then I want you to validate that feeling and try to understand where it's coming from. Once you've done that, don't let yourself spiral down a rabbit hole. Don't keep digging and letting yourself go further into that feeling and why am I feeling this way? Just understand, validate it, and then sit with the discomfort. Reflect on why is this feeling coming up? What is it trying to tell you might need? If you're really feeling really sad, maybe it's telling you that you're feeling lonely and maybe you could reach out a bit more. If you're feeling really anxious, maybe it's telling you you're trying to do a bit too much. You need to take it easier on yourself. Another thing you can try is giving yourself a pep talk in the mirror. If you're on social media at all, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, you could have a look at your saved posts. I will do another episode about social media because I think that is a very important and sort of touchy topic in recovery because you really have to work on getting that balance right. Anyways, that's for another episode. Another thing you could try is writing down all the things you're grateful for. This may not always work, but it's a good exercise to try out. When you're feeling really distressed and maybe you're very unhappy with your body and possibly thinking about hurting it, try pushing against a wall or a couch or put pressure into something. You could connect with the ground and just put pressure in all of it. Put that energy somewhere else. Another exercise that I really liked was 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What you do, you say 5 things that you can see in that moment. 4 things that you can touch. What do they feel like? Are they soft? Are they hard? Are they warm? Are they cold? 3 things you can hear. What does it sound like? Is it high-pitched? Is it low-pitched? Is it very quiet? Is it very loud? 2 things you can smell. What does it smell like? Is it sweet? Is it sour? Is it a bad smell? Is it a nice smell? Does it remind you of anything? And then 1 thing you can taste. That's a really good mindfulness exercise just to bring you back to where you are. Another mindfulness exercise is butterfly taps. To do this, you put the opposite hand on the opposite shoulder. So your right hand will go on your left shoulder. So not quite your shoulder, just a bit below, sort of on top of your armpit. And then you'll alternate. You'll tap your left hand on your right shoulder, then your right on your left. And you just do this slowly with your eyes closed, doing really deep breaths. Another idea is to listen to the Affirmations podcast. There are 2 of those, so you can re-listen to them or listen to them for the first time. Alternatively, you could write your own affirmations or listen to a different affirmations podcast. Lastly, please don't expect your mood to suddenly pick up. You might feel down, anxious, sad, annoyed, overwhelmed, or whatever it is you're feeling for a little while. But one thing I can promise you is that it won't last forever. Everything will be okay. You can do this. I believe in you. You are brave. You are strong. You are here for a reason. And you are enough. Wasn't that a lovely voice crack? Until next time, keep being brave.